Okay, picture this. It's 1935. You're sitting in a packed theater in Columbus, Ohio. The orchestra starts playing the St. Louis Blues. The curtain goes up, and out walks a dog.
And this isn't just, a cute animal act. This is a headliner at a major magic convention.
Exactly. This is Gimmick, the singing dog. And according to the reports we've got in front of us, he isn't howling. He is supposedly singing in perfect tune.
It sounds completely surreal.
Oh, it gets better. Later that night, a man comes out and plays a full round of golf on stage, produces a putting green, clubs, everything from thin air.
And at the same time, halfway across the world in Calcutta, another magician is swallowing 12 double-edged razor blades.
It's just this incredibly bizarre, high-energy world. Welcome to Magic in 1935. Today, we're opening a time capsule. We have a stack of issues of the Linking Ring magazine.
Right. This was the official journal for the International Brotherhood of Magicians, the IBM.
And our mission today is to transport you back to this golden age of fraternity magic. We want to understand not just the tricks, but the people, the culture.
Especially during the Great Depression. I mean, you read these newsletters, and you expect to see despair, but that's not what you find at all.
No, you find this vibrant, almost obsessive community clinging to wonder and, maybe more importantly, to each other. So we're going to look at their huge conventions, meet a character named Slippery Slick.
And we did promise to teach a trick, right? Step by step.
We did. We're going to break down an illusion you can actually do at home. But first, we have to talk about the conventions because the scale is just staggering.
It really is. You mentioned that Magifest in Columbus, Ohio, January 1935. Now, we know for a fact there was a historic snowstorm in New England that week.
Total whiteout, roads blocked, trains delayed for days.
And yet, it didn't stop them. The sources mentioned this one guy, Uncle John Davison, traveling all the way from Rhode Island just to be there.
And he wasn't the only one. Get this, the attendance for the main Saturday night show was 3,500 paying customers.
Let's just pause on that. 3,500 people. In the middle of the Great Depression, spending what little money they had to see a magic show.
It says so much about the need for escapism, right? People needed to see the impossible because their day-to-day reality was so grim.
And the organizers, the Columbus boys they call them, they ran this thing with military precision.
Yeah, the reviewers go on and on about the stage managership.
Which, if you've ever been to an amateur magic show, you know can be a disaster. Things drag on, tricks go wrong.
Right, but not here. Curtain up at 8:40 sharp, curtain down at 10:45. They treated punctuality like it was a magic trick in itself.
Well, with acts like Russ Walsh's golf magic, you can see why you need to be organized. This wasn't simple stuff.
No, it's this whole narrative piece. He produces golf balls, then clubs, then even a putting green.
And he tees the ball up on his own fingers, is that right?
On his fingers. But the kicker is the finale. The sandbox he was using for the golf tee suddenly turns into a fully stocked bar.
See, that's smart. It's relatable. He's taking pure sleight of hand and wrapping it in a story people get. Golf and a good drink.
Speaking of things people get, or maybe don't, let's go back to Leslie Gueston Gimmick.
The singing dog. Still can't wrap my head around this one.
The review sounds like something out of Ripley's Believe It or Not. It says the dog, quote, actually sung not howled St. Louis blues in tune with the orchestra.
And it could say words like mama.
Mama and rubber ball, apparently. You have to wonder how much is hyperbole, but the reviewer just insists it was to the entire satisfaction of all.
It just shows you that audiences back then wanted novelty. Anything new, anything weird, whether it was high-skill magic or, well, a singing dog.
But alongside the weirdness, there's this deep respect for technology. I mean, it was the machine age.
Oh, the Mayhart rising cards is the perfect example. Usually a rising card trick is done with, hidden threads.
This was different.
Completely. The source calls it a super mechanical engineer feat. The little box the deck sits in, the houlette, was built by a cash register expert.
A cash register expert? That is such a specific 1935 detail.
Exactly. It implies precision engineering, gears, and springs. It's like they were trying to prove that magic could keep up with the industrial world.
Like that Algerian rosebush illusion where real roses bloom and then drop off at the sound of a pistol shot. It's so high-tech for the time.
But for every bit of tech, there's a human story. And I think the most compelling character we found is the guy on the October cover.
Yes. Let's talk about Slippery Slick.
You couldn't make up a better stage name.
His real name was A.A.A. Allman. 3 A's.
And he apparently missed his own branding opportunity. He just went by A.A. Allman.
He's such a fascinating figure because he's a bridge between two very different Americas. He got his start with Kickapoo medicine shows.
Which were basically these traveling troops selling snake oil. The entertainment was just there to draw a crowd so you could sell them junk medicine. It was a tough school.
So he comes from that rough and tumble world, but by 1935, he's retired from professional magic. He'd become a fireman in Pawtucket.
A fireman magician. What a pivot. From a world of illusion to, very stark reality.
But he didn't give up performing, he just repurposed it. He'd go to churches and clubs and use his magic as a PSA against gambling.
Right. He uses the cheat to expose the cheat. The article describes him dealing himself a royal flush just to show people how easily they could be tricked.
The lesson sinks deep, is what the source says. It's one thing to be told not to gamble. It's another to see it happen right in front of your eyes.
And it all ties back into that community feel. Allman was a huge figure in Ring 44 in Rhode Island, and that group pops up again and again in these magazines.
They sound like the coolest club, the one you'd want to join.
Definitely. The descriptions of their social events are amazing. It was so much more than just showing each other tricks.
Take Uncle John Davison's outing at his farm. The source says that to guide people there, he literally painted the number 44 with an arrow on the trees leading up the road.
It's like a secret code for magicians. So charming.
And when they got there, it wasn't some stuffy meeting. It was a baseball game. Married men versus single men.
Yeah. And the reporter jokes that he couldn't find the umpire after the game, implying he might have been killed for a bad call.
Yeah.
You can just feel the camaraderie.
Oh, and the refreshments. A tub of cracked ice with bottles in the cellar. And Davison himself, he wasn't just doing magic. He played the piano and did a dramatic reading of The Shooting of Dan McGrew.
It's a whole vaudeville show in someone's home.
Yeah.
And you see that same intimacy with another member, Harry Ballon, and his bachelor establishment.
Oh, I loved this description. It calls his place somewhere a man can walk up the front stairs with his shoes on at 3 in the morning singing a song.
That little detail, with his shoes on, tells you everything about the social constraints of the era. This was their escape, their safe space.
A place for late-night magic sessions with, quote, everything from eggs to needles.
It was a support system. The world outside was falling apart. But in that living room, on that farm, everything was okay. You had your friends, and you had your secrets.
Well, speaking of secrets, I think it's time we shared one. We promised we'd teach a trick from these very pages.
Yes, from the December 1935 issue. This is from our friend Slippery Slick himself. It's called the Little Roadie Rope Trick.
Okay, so listen closely, because you can actually do this. Allman's goal was a cut and restored rope trick with, and this is key, no skill in palming.
So, the effect is this. You show a rope, find the center, cut it with scissors, tie the ends in a knot, and then the knot just vanishes, leaving the rope whole again.
So what's the secret? How does it work?
It's a very clever principle using a fake knot. Before you even start, you take a tiny extra piece of rope and tie it into a little loop around the main rope.
So it's like a little ring of rope that can slide along the big one.
Exactly. You hide it in your hand. When you bring the ends of the rope together to find the center, what you're really doing is sliding that little fake loop up so it pokes out of your fist.
So when you take the scissors...
You're not cutting the main rope at all. You're just snipping that little fake loop.
That's brilliant. So it looks like two cut ends, but it's really just the ends of that tiny piece tied around the solid rope.
Correct. But here's where Allman's genius really comes in. The mechanics are easy. The real secret he teaches is the psychology.
The buxom lady move.
Yes, we have to mention it. The text literally says, ask the buxom lady in the front row if she has any objection to your cutting this nice piece of rope.
Okay, so apart from the very dated language, what's the point of that?
Pure misdirection. Allman says if you look at the lady, the whole audience looks at the lady, it directs their gaze away from your hands at the exact moment you're doing the sneaky part.
And the patter, he suggests, is just priceless. He tells you to use all this pseudo-scientific jargon about a magnetic plane and positive and negative poles.
It's complete nonsense, but he says you say it with confidence, and it just confuses the audience into accepting it.
Yeah.
It stops them from thinking logically.
My favorite bit is the excuse he gives for trimming the knot away at the end. Because you have to get rid of that fake knot somehow.
Right, so he suggests you tell the audience something like, to dissolve a full-size knot takes too much vital energy out of me.
Vital energy! I'm going to start using that. Sorry, I can't do the dishes, need to conserve my vital energy.
It's so clever. It makes you seem both powerful and vulnerable, and it perfectly justifies the action of snipping away the evidence until it just falls off.
So there you have it, the little roadie rope trick. All you need is a piece of rope and a buxom lady.
But, learning that secret brings us right to the other huge obsession in these magazines. The absolute terror of exposure.
Oh, it's a full-blown war. There's this report from Ring 4 in New York, and they are furious.
The Chew Hard Gum Co. incident.
Well, you just can't make these names up.
Apparently this gum company, and another one called the Bumtooth Powder Co., were printing magic trick explanations to sell their products.
And the magic community was losing its mind. They saw it as the end of the art form.
There's a great quote. "If we let the Chew Hard Gum Co. expose pocket tricks, we will not be able to stop the Bumtooth Powder Co. from exposing the finest illusions."
It's the classic slippery slope argument. They genuinely believe that if the secrets got out, magic would die.
Which is funny, considering what we just did. But back then, secrets were everything. There was no internet. A secret was your intellectual property, and a gum company was basically stealing it.
Speaking of things for sale, the ads in these magazines are a trip. What about Herman the Glee-Galoo bird?
Oh, Herman, the hit of the season. A life-size mechanical bird that could do math and spelling.
Glee-Galoo. I just love that word. And then there's the really low-budget stuff like, it's in the bag.
For $1. The whole gimmick is you do a card act with a paper sack over your head.
It's amazing. People would scrape together $1, which was real money, for something so delightfully absurd. But the community was also global. We found a report from Calcutta.
Right, the Hanukkah party at the Judean Club.
Yeah, for 250 children. And the entertainment was a guy named Ed.D. Jason,
who proceeded to swallow 12 double-edged razor blades and then bring them back up one by one.
for the kids.
It was a different time. But it shows the reach of the linking ring. It wasn't just Ohio and Rhode Island. It was a global network of people who loved this stuff.
So when you put it all together, the snowstorms, the singing dogs, the firemen, the razor blades, what's the big takeaway from 1935?
I think it's a story of duality. On one hand, you have this real push for high tech, for mechanical birds and cash register tricks. They wanted to feel modern.
But on the other hand,
The real magic wasn't in the tech. It was the social connection. They obsessed over exposure, thinking that if everyone knew how the rope trick worked, it would all be over. But they were wrong. Completely. Because the magic wasn't in the rope. The magic was in Ring 44 meeting at 3 a.m.
Right.
It was Uncle John painting arrows on trees. That's what got them through the Depression. The secrets were just the price of admission to the club.
that's a fantastic way to put it. We worry so much about spoilers today, but knowing how it's done doesn't ruin the fun of the performance.
Well, maybe not for the rope trick. I'd still pay good money to see Gimmick the dog sing the blues, regardless of how he did it.
I think we all would.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on. The magicians of 1935 were terrified that secrets on gum wrappers would destroy their art. Today, you can learn any illusion you want on YouTube in 5 minutes, and magic is arguably bigger than ever. So was their fear totally misplaced? Or is the secret actually the least important part of magic?
Something to think about.
Definitely.
Thank you for taking this deep dive with us into the world of 1935. It's been a truly magical trip. Keep your shoes on, and don't forget the Glee-Galoo bird. Catch you next time.